Desmond Thomas, a member of the Electoral Reform Group. And I ask you to spare me a few moments of your time for some brief remarks on the topic of constitutional and electoral reform. Now, I know you're busy, and you may be asking yourself, well, why should I concern myself with constitutional or electoral reform? Fact is, how these things affect your life may not be obvious, but in reality, this is a most relevant factor affecting your future, especially among young people. You ignore the issues of constitutional and electoral reform at your own peril. Let me remind you of something. In November 2022, last year, the National Assembly passed the Constitution Reform Commission Act. Presumably, the Constitution Reform Commission will soon go into operation. In fact, the Attorney General has been reported to have promised that the President would have announced the Commission members last month, that is September. Now make no mistake, this process has the potential to change the governance structure of the country in ways that will affect your life, your rights, your future, and determine whether we shall live in peace and progress or disaffection and disarray. It is vitally important to pay attention in order to make sure that you get the reform that works for you, especially young people. Now, does Guyana need electoral reform? And the answer is an emphatic yes. Let's consider the state of the economy today. We have the fastest growing economy in the world. I'm just putting things in a broad perspective. We have an oil industry raking in billions of dollars in wealth and profits. And I'm sure you would all have noticed we're in the middle of a construction boom, the likes of which we have never seen before. Roads, buildings, and so on. Now, the question still arises, how much difference has this phenomenal growth made to your life? For most working people in this country, life continues to be an unrelenting struggle. People find themselves squeezed between low incomes and rising prices. Quite frankly, I don't know how some people survive in these conditions. For many young people, emigration continues to be the best option. Our parliament does not operate effectively as befits a multi-ethnic, multifaceted country like ours. Our elections commission does not function the way an elections management body is expected to work. This is a country with different sets of rules for people with money and connections. It does not have to be like this. We must come together to fix these problems, all of us, not just politicians. That is what reform is all about. Remember, the only thing worse than no reform is bad reform. We must make our voices heard to get the reform we need. There's no point in ignoring the process and then complaining about it afterwards. I want to close this brief message with a word for the President, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. Your Excellency, in 1980, we got the Burnham Constitution, October 1980 to be exact. If we follow through with the Constitution Reform Commission, we shall have the Irfan Ali Constitution. It will be an indelible part of your legacy. Question is, will it be a transformative, will your name be associated with a transformative reform that fosters unity, stability, and common purpose? Or are we going to have more of the same? Disunity, alienation, polarization, and corruption. One thing is clear: to achieve real reform, you must be prepared to engage with all sections of society. People who agree with you and people with different points of view. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you find these remarks stimulating and useful. You can expect further videos from ERG on various specific aspects of the electoral and constitutional reform agenda in coming weeks. Your comments and reactions are welcome. Thank you.